guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Nastasia and I am in my new apartment. Well, technically it is Kai and I's new apartment, but he hasn't moved in yet. He's gonna move in after we get married. So right now I moved in. I got the lucky draw and I'm so excited to be here. I love it. This is kind of a sad setup I have right now. I will get a better background for you, but this is what we got today. So today we are doing a video I've wanted to talk about for a while, and to be honest, I always felt like I was worried I wouldn't come across the right way, and I kind of got in a rut a little bit. But then I just decided, you know what, there's only so much I can do to control like how I come across. I always pray before my videos, and all I can do is give you my opinion where I stand on things, and you take it or leave it. So today we are talking about crystals, and it kind of falls into that law of attraction, new age sphere of things, which you guys might have found my channel through that. I know a lot of people did through my law of attraction videos. If you haven't, go back and watch those. I think that'll make this make more sense. But before we get into it, if you end up liking this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on a video every time I post. My Instagram is right here so you can see all the behind the scenes of my life. And my Christian clothing shop, Nolia, will be in the description box below. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you don't know what crystals kind of are, well, you've probably seen crystals, like you probably know what they are, but if you don't know what they are in like this sphere of influence of like the new age law of attraction world, and I'm not saying all, but this is from my perspective of what I have seen. I have seen a lot of people in that new age community, law of attraction community, all of that, that believe that crystals have different kinds of special powers, I guess you could say. It's also very prominent in witchcraft, which I'm gonna get into a little bit, but the biggest thing is that these different crystals that are different colors and have different minerals and blah, 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 all seem to represent different things. Like one is supposed to bring you luck, one is supposed to bring you harmony, one is supposed to bring you love and help you attract these things, one is supposed to, like, when you hold it you can focus better and stuff like that. And either you're probably one of two things right now, one of three things. Either one, you're thinking that's ridiculous, why would anybody believe that? Or two, you're thinking, oh yeah, I totally believe that. Or three, you're thinking, I clicked on this video because I don't know what to believe yet. So I'm gonna kind of unpack a little bit of what I think from my perspective, and you can take it or leave it. So crystals, first of all, I will say I actually have, I guess, 3 crystals technically. If you could call them crystals, I think they're crystals, I don't know, but I got them at Home Goods or TJ Maxx, and they're beautiful, and I have them on a little moon shelf of mine, not to represent anything, I just think they're pretty, and for me, they're just that, they're just pretty. I think they're beautiful, I think they come from the earth, and just like everything else in nature, I believe God created crystals, just like I believe he created the grass and the trees and stuff like that. I believe it is a piece of the earth, I guess you could say. It's from the earth. Do I believe that crystals have inherent powers or can help, manifest things into your life? No. What I do believe about crystals is that there are certain things that, can help. Okay, how do I describe this? For instance, like a Himalayan salt, the Himalayan salt lamps or whatever, those orange salt lamps or whatever it is. And don't quote me on this, I don't really know, but I've heard that they are really good for, if there's a lot of technology or something in the room, radio waves, a lot of times those Himalayan salt lamps can absorb a lot of that excess wavelengths or whatever in the air. I know I sound crazy because I probably am not saying it right. But anyway, do I believe that that can happen? I totally do. Why? Because I believe that there quite literally are sound waves, stuff like that, and I believe that all of that stuff in the air and stuff can affect you and all that. And there are certain elements and certain rocks or whatever in nature that can help with those things. I mean, think about plants and trees and all that stuff. Like, they quite literally take in carbon dioxide and make oxygen, and we breathe in oxygen. So obviously they have a purpose there. Do I believe trees or grass or plants in general can bring me wealth or love or peace? No, I do not. I believe they have a purpose. I believe they have many purposes. One being that they are beautiful. Two, being that they are food for other things in nature. Three, they produce literally air for us to breathe, and that was all created by God, our divine creator. So do I think that crystals can have certain benefits? For sure, I do. I don't know what those are because I don't really care. Do I think that they go in that sphere of bringing things into your life that only God can do? No, I do not, because crystals are not God. They are creation, not creator. And the Bible touches quite a few times in the Bible about how dangerous it is to worship creation. So you might be thinking, well, just because people think those things about crystals and that they bring them health and blah, 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 that doesn't mean they're worshiping them. Well, I would argue that I think it might, even if you don't think it is. So hear me out. They might be becoming an idol in your life that you don't realize. I think there are a lot of things, actually I would argue everything in life, God has his hand around. Like, there's nothing you can do to mess up God's will. There's nothing you can do to prevent God's will, all of that. And so when it comes to things like your love life or things like that, like, God is in control of those things, not a rock, not something that came out of the earth. And I want to point out that there are many times in scripture that, like, it points out that creation is meant to point to the creator. So why would something like a crystal have these inherent powers or abilities to do things that only God can do? Why would that be the case if all of creation was meant to point and bring glory and honor to the creator? That wouldn't add up. So things like a crystal, you holding it to be able to attract love, I do not believe that's a thing, because I believe that goes into the world of witchcraft, kind of. They use crystals, and I'm obviously not a witch. I am a Christian, so I don't need some witches out there saying that's not how it works, because I know that people are different and do different things. I don't know that world very well, but I do know that some people do that. And one way or another, whether they do it or not, this is wrong. It's wrong to worship creation. It is wrong to use it in a way that you're trying to get a loophole around God. Yeah, none of that is good. However, do I think that, I don't know. Crazier things have happened. What if they found out that, like, there's like the minerals in a certain kind of crystal can be used to cure cancer? I don't know. I think that's possible, but it's not that the crystal inherently has powers. It's that it has minerals or something that God enables us to be able to use for those things, but it doesn't in itself have these magical, mystical powers. I hope I'm making sense. This is part of the reason that I wanted to be careful with this video, because I feel like people twist my words so easily with these videos. But like literally the only thing I can compare it to is like plants. Like, there are so many. I'm a pretty holistic person, actually. You might be surprised, because I'm very much against that new age kind of world. So I'm not into that, but I'm very much into like holistic medicine and herbal remedies and stuff like that. So of course I believe that, there are essential oils that can help with so many things. Do I believe that God gave us so many incredible things in nature to help with illness or other things like that? 100% I do. But like, I don't believe a tree or a plant or grass is going to do the things for me that only God can do. So I actually watched a couple different videos about just like what people believe some of these crystals can do, just so that I was kind of informed of what other people believe they can do and why. And it just further instilled in me why I so believe that they do not do these things. A lot of these people do practice a lot of the new age stuff, and I can't say that they're Christians or not. They didn't say that. So I'm going off of the idea that they're not, but I don't know for sure. But basically my point is, like they were saying, this crystal is this and it protects me. Whenever I'm scared or whenever I'm going to a sketchy area, I take this crystal for extra protection. And I'm like, that rock is not going to protect you from you getting hurt. I'm sorry, it's not going to. You know what can protect you? God. Like, that's my thing, is like, why it bothers me so much. Here's why it bothers me so much. It reminds me a whole lot of, in the Bible, in Exodus, when God delivers his people from Egypt under the hand of Pharaoh, and delivers them from that. And they're in the wilderness and they just watched all these miraculous things of God, and he's leading them through the wilderness and the desert to the promised land. And what happens? They literally build a false idol. I think it was like a cow made out of gold or something like that. I could be wrong on that. But basically a false idol that they worshipped because they thought, oh, well, we're not getting what we want from God, so let's just worship this thing. And it's like, do you not? And like, I'm not trying to judge, because there's a lot of times that I'm like, wow, how could you? But then I'm like, Stas, you're just as bad as anyone else. But like, it reminds me of that. I'm like, there's a good and loving and sovereign God who laid down his life for you to have eternal life and deliver you from your own sin. And now it's like, this crystal protects me. This one brings me love. This one heals me. This one, brings me financial wealth and prosperity. And I'm like, I almost feel like it's like a slap in the face to God. Now I know that there's going to be some people who are like, well, what if they don't believe in God? Well, I can't make somebody believe in something they don't. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I can't do it. But my perspective is from a Christian perspective. And all of these kind of videos are more geared towards Christians anyway. Of course, anybody can watch them. Anybody's welcome to watch these, and I welcome you here. But I also know that, like, if you're not a Christian, you're gonna be like, well, I don't believe what you believe anyway, so who cares? I will say, even if you're not a Christian, beware, because Satan can really, really use some of these things to hurt you. So whether you believe it or not, like, I wouldn't be a loving person. I wouldn't be loving you well if I didn't at least try to tell you that and warn you of that. But even if you're not a Christian, just keep that in mind. If you are a Christian, however, I just advise you to be careful that you're not making idols out of creation. And you're not worshiping creation over the creator. And it doesn't always mean bowing down to a statue. It can mean, oh, where's my crystal? I need peace today. I need this today. And it's like, if you're holding on to anything too tightly, it can become an idol. So that being said, I know a lot of you will probably be like, oh, well, then I'm just gonna stay away from crystals altogether. I'm not gonna have them in my home, nothing. I'm not even gonna look at them. Okay, I mean, that's up to you. I will say I have 3 very large, beautiful crystals in my apartment. Why do I have them? Because they're pretty. That's literally why. And it's one of those things that it reminds me of God, because I look at it and I'm like, wow, God created such beautiful work in this earth. That's all it is to me. It is not an idol. It is not something that can bring me anything. It is not anything other than it just reminds me how beautiful God created creation. However, I know I have a couple friends who they are freaked out by crystals. They don't like them at all, and they don't mind me having them in my house, but they will not buy them for themselves. That's okay. There's something called weaker brother, stronger brother, and if it causes you to stumble, stay away from it. Just don't even entertain that idea. That's okay. But I also want to encourage you that not every single Christian who has a crystal in their home or something like that is necessarily having it as an idol. Anything could become an idol. Those twinkly lights could become an idol. But just because I have them doesn't mean I'm making them an idol. You know what I mean? So like, that's why conversation is so important. Let's say you have a really amazing Christian friend who's wearing a crystal necklace or something. Ask them about it. Oh, just be like, where'd you get your necklace from, or something like that. Now, if they go into a whole spiel about, oh, this is amethyst, it protects me, or whatever. I don't even know what amethyst supposedly does, but like, it does this, it brings me this, it brings me this. Then maybe have a conversation with them about like, I don't know if that's the right route to go. But if they're just like, oh yeah, it's pretty, I think it's pretty, you know, if it's pretty clear they're just wearing it because they like it, they think it's pretty, especially if it, you know, maybe points them to God or whatever, like, it's, in my opinion, it's okay. You know what I mean? So like, that's my opinion on crystals. I will probably make a part 2 to this video at some point, just because, one, I'm sure I'll have a lot of comments down here. I always do, just keep them going. But also because I would like to specifically, like, I think it'd be interesting for me to figure out different crystal types, what they supposedly do and bring you, from people in that New Age community or even witchcraft community, and kind of pick apart and maybe use some verses in the Bible as well to show why these things, one, are not accurate, and two, can actually be a dangerous route to go on if you are using them beyond what they're meant for, if you're using them as an idol or something like that. So bottom line, am I saying you can't have crystals? I don't really give a crap. Like, if you have them, cool. If you wear them, cool, whatever. I think they can be very, very pretty. I think they can make pretty wallpaper or desktop on your phone, whatever. However, if you are using them or anything else in your life as an idol, if you are relying on it for something you should be relying on God for, not a good idea. That might be something you want to reconsider. It might be something you want to nix completely. So this is a time to evaluate with yourself how you stand on it. Yeah, just keep that in mind. But I'm very interested to hear what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. I really do read them. Even if I don't respond to all of them, like, some of my videos have over 5,000 comments because some people get rowdy. But if I don't respond to them, that doesn't mean I didn't read it. A lot of times I'll put little hearts or something to let you know I read it. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.